You're standing in a conversation that feels more like combat. You try to explain yourself, speak gently, stay calm. But somehow, you always end up being the one who's wrong. You defend yourself, they twist your words. You stay silent, they rage. You try to make peace, and still, you're the one apologizing for something you didn't do. That's not communication. That's manipulation. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "No one can hurt you unless you allow them to." And that, right there, is the heart of Stoic power. Because dealing with narcissists and manipulators isn't about winning the argument. It's about refusing to play their game. Today, we're going to explore 4 Stoic principles of communication, so you can stay calm, dignified, and in control, even in the presence of those who feed on your reactions. So take a breath. This is not just a guide, this is your armor. Lesson 1, the power of letting go, no contact. Imagine standing in a room filled with smoke, thick, choking, burning your throat. You cough, your chest tightens, and for a moment you forget something simple. You can leave. You reach for the door. You step outside. Fresh air, sunlight, stillness. You don't argue with the smoke. You just stop breathing it in. That is no contact. Epictetus warned us, never argue with a fool. They'll drag you down to their level and beat you with experience. That's the Stoic logic behind walking away. Not because you're weak, but because you're finally strong enough not to prove anything. Studies show that people who go no contact often experience profound transformation. Their mind clears, their energy returns, their peace rebuilds. But as Dr. Ramani reminds us, no contact isn't always possible. What if it's your boss, your parent, your co-parent? Marcus Aurelius couldn't walk away from betrayal in his own court. He couldn't escape the storm, so he found calm within it. That's Stoicism. If you can't leave the chaos outside, master the silence inside. So if you can't yet step out of the smoky room, steady your breath. Because there are other weapons, subtler ones, that can set you free. Lesson 2. Keep emotional distance. Low, gray, and yellow rock. Not everyone can vanish, but everyone can become hard to reach. The Stoics called it restraint. We call it control. There are 3 ways to master it. 1. Low contact. Imagine your mind as a fortress. Outside they shout, provoke, and throw stones. But you never open the gate. You speak only when necessary. You answer with facts, not feelings. Marcus Aurelius said, when you speak, speak only what is necessary. When you are silent, let it be for peace. That's how you reclaim your sanity. Not by speaking louder, but by learning when to stop. 2. Gray rock. Manipulators feed on emotion. They want you to react, to flinch, to break. But when you go still, when your tone is neutral and your face unreadable, they starve. They insult you. You breathe. They mock you. You pause. They demand a fight. And you give them silence. That's gray rock, emotional invisibility. They'll rage. They'll accuse. But as Marcus wrote, ask yourself, do they offend you, or do you allow yourself to be offended? And soon they'll find another source, because nothing frightens a manipulator more than indifference. 3. Yellow rock. For situations where politeness is required, like work, co-parenting, or family, you add courtesy to your composure. You stay civil but distant. You say thank you, have a good day, not because they deserve it, but because you refuse to lose your dignity. Seneca called this virtue in action. The wise do what is right, not for others, but for the sake of their own character. Yellow rock is courtesy without vulnerability, politeness without surrender, because peace doesn't come from being understood, it comes from being unshaken. Lesson 3. Build your inner firewall. In technology, a firewall blocks viruses. In Stoicism, your mind must do the same. Every manipulator needs ammunition, and you've been handing it to them for years. You tell them your fears, they weaponize them. You share your dreams, they mock them. You reveal your success, they diminish it. So stop giving them bullets. That's firewalling. You don't attack. You don't defend. You simply stop exposing your soul to those who want to own it. Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you that disturbs you, but how you interpret it. Firewalling is not just silence, it's sovereignty. You stop letting their opinion rewrite your story. You stop giving your peace to people who profit from your pain. The Stoic firewall is simple. Speak less. Reveal less. Protect your energy. Because the most dangerous weapon in a manipulator's hand is your openness. Lesson 4. Master your language. I feel, not you make me feel. Words can heal or enslave. And one small phrase quietly steals your power every day. You make me feel. It sounds harmless, even honest, but it gives away control of your emotions. When you say, "You make me feel guilty," you've handed them the strings. The Stoic rewrites the sentence, "I feel guilt when I hear that." Small change, total transformation. Marcus wrote, "Our strength lies in our ability to respond consciously to what happens." When you own your emotions, no one else can weaponize them. Epictetus said, "No one can make you angry unless you allow it." Each time you begin with I, you take back the steering wheel of your mind. Language is power, and the Stoic speaks not to react, but to reclaim. Part 2. Acceptance and liberation. Someone once said, "I just want peace. I just want them to be happy." But that's the trap. Narcissists don't want peace. They want power. The more you try to fix them, the more they feed on your effort. The more you try to please them, the more they punish your peace. Life with a manipulator is like playing in a rigged casino. You win just enough to keep you hooked and lose enough to keep you chasing. But the day you stop playing, that's the day you win. Marcus Aurelius said, "Accept everything as it is and use it as material to strengthen yourself." That's radical acceptance. It's not surrender, it's awakening. You finally see things as they are, no illusions, no denial. You can't change them, but you can change yourself. You stop arguing, stop defending, stop waiting for the apology that will never come. And one day when they try to trigger you again, you feel nothing. Not because you're cold, but because you're free. The Stoics don't run from pain. They refine themselves through it. And that's when you understand. No one can make you feel small unless you believe you are. The Stoic way to end the chaos. You cannot control others, but you can always control your reaction. You cannot make them change, but you can stop letting them shape who you become. Stoicism doesn't teach you to be hard. It teaches you to be unbreakable. Peace isn't the absence of people. It's the presence of boundaries. True strength is not in domination, but in composure. The Stoic man or woman doesn't fight the storm. They become the calm that the storm cannot touch. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The tranquility that comes when you stop caring what they say or do or think, only what you do. That's real power." So, when the manipulator calls, breathe. When they provoke, pause. When they try to own your mind, smile quietly because they no longer can. That is the Stoic path. Not to conquer the chaos, but to stand unmoved within it. If this message spoke to you, take a breath, reflect. You don't need to change the world today. Just master your own mind. Comment below, "I choose calm over chaos." Subscribe to the Stoic Tide, where ancient wisdom meets modern strength. Let's build a world, one calm mind at a time.